Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on in the house, bring yourself up a ringside seat, get your concessions from the concession stand, buy your merch. We got the Bookers Alliance t-shirts, hats, koozies. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff now, don't we, Frank?
Got everything you need. If you need it, we got it. Or if we don't got it, we'll make it.
We'll make it.
We get some JR's barbecue sauce. We'll have Bookers Alliance barbecue sauce in here if you don't watch out.
Hell yeah. All right, so we're gonna start off today's show. Our topic for today is Hall of Fame in or out. Ooh. So we are beginning our road to WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
And we started that last week, and you know we are before the Royal Rumble, but at the same time we so damn excited. We got the car and drive. We're going down the road already.
Oh yeah, and I mean they're throwing a lot of different curveballs at us now too. So you know, from Raw, this past Raw, the most recent SmackDown, they're throwing a lot of different curveballs. Like you know, so for those of you who think you already know where it's going, might not go that way. There might be a left turn or a right turn or a turn around. Who knows?
All right, so yeah, that'll drive us into our segment we said was going to do every week. So that's the WrestleMania chase. So see what's happening right now is it's all a little bit of it's just a mystery. We don't know who's going to be Rumble winner. We don't know who's going to be the last two competitors. It could be anybody at this point.
Yeah, well, luckily for us, I mean, we know the road to WrestleMania is coming, but they're still trying to get that road paved. Like they're still getting the lines drawn on it. They're trying to get everything, but we're already driving down it. We're on that dirt road right now, waiting until they get the rest of the road made. But I mean, there's so many different caveats here and there. It makes it so exciting that there's so many options. I mean, what the hell? What kind of a roster do you have to have, you know, a potential 6 different, opportunities per main event? My goodness. I mean, anybody could work their way into this thing right now. That's awesome.
So right now you got Cody that's declared. You got CM Punk declared. You've got Drew McIntyre that's declared. You got Gunther that declared Monday.
Yep.
You've got Brock Lesnar rumored to be making his way back.
And if he comes in, you know he's a heavy hitter in the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
He may not be in the main event. God damn, I just thought about if he wrestles Roman Reigns at this year's WrestleMania, we're going to have some damn problems here.
So,
the Bookers Alliance ain't having that this year now. Shit, we done seen enough of it now. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm cursing now. I got worked up too early in the show.
So that did come out.
I saw it too. As soon as I saw it, I was like, they said Brock Lesnar rumored to come back. I said, for what? I mean, if he wins the Royal Rumble and they set up him and Roman Reigns, at that point, The Rock's out, Cody's out. Hell, they'd probably have him beat Seth at the Elimination Chamber and have him join the belts again, and then we'd be sitting there with Roman having what, 4?
So
my God!
You had a key word right there. Something else that happened on our WrestleMania chase. Seth came out of that match Monday night with an injury.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he didn't listen to our previous episode, did he?
No, so nobody did apparently. So you had Seth came out injured.
Cora Jade got injured.
Sammy Guevara jumped from heaven straight to hell. I mean, I don't know what he was like. And then who is it? Darby Allin called Whiplash.
Yep.
Nobody heeded our advice.
We tried to tell y'all.
It's the road to WrestleMania. I need y'all to settle the hell down and keep it together long enough to give us the main events that we want.
Yeah, if we don't get this Seth Punk match that has been kind of served up on a silver platter, so to speak, it's going to be so disappointing.
If that were to fall apart, I mean, let's be honest, everything falls apart at that point. I mean, right now, WWE, even though we're touting how much, how thick the roster is and how many different avenues, if, let's say, either world champion right now were to get injured, it's a house of cards. The whole thing comes crumbling down, and, I mean, you're back to square one. That would be what we call in the business a nightmare. But that's also what lets me know that there ain't no chance in hell Roman Reigns will be wrestling at the Elimination Chamber. If he comes out of the Rumble unscathed, we ain't seeing him in no more rings wrestling until WrestleMania.
It's being reported that he's not going to be there. So, unfortunately, those that are riding and dying with me and my theory, we might be on life support at this point.
Maybe, but it was also reported the talks with CM Punk had fell through. Yeah. So,
who knows?
A lot of times, the reports might be a red herring.
But, dude, that's what makes this shit fun as hell right now.
Absolutely. The fact that we can go into, hey, this could happen, but what if they're swerving us?
What if they're swerving us?
What if they're not? Speaking of Swerve took some dental injury. He got his mouth busted this past week on Dynamite.
Yeah, Swerve.
Nobody's listening to our injured episode. What the hell?
You're going hard right now. You don't. The fans are behind you. You ain't got to go this hard right now.
Yeah, no kidding, right? You out there sacrificing it all. And I mean, I get it, but
we appreciate it,
dude. We just talked about it. Listen to look around.
Take a look around.
Careful. Right.
Got to be more careful.
Seth Rollins, got to be more careful. We need you for this, man. Don't try and HBK us. Don't try and pretend. Don't lose your smile next week. Don't come out with a bum knee and then do a backflip off the top rope 10 minutes after you tell us you can't wrestle Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. Don't do it to us because we will come for you.
Now, I will say this. This is a little bit off the beaten path of our WrestleMania chase segment, but whatever you are doing, writers in the back, between Kofi and Woodsy and Imperium, please don't stop. Please keep that going.
Well, so they could stop getting people injured.
No. I don't mind the physicality. Don't get injured.
Somebody's not going to start. We already got Giovanni out.
He's walking around last night with a busted mouth.
Yeah, I mean, Woods looked rough. Woods looked like a vampire out there. I mean, with that crazy hair and all that going on, and then the way the blood was in his mouth, he literally looked like a vampire.
The physicality between these matches that are being had between these two teams, I'm all for it.
Oh, they're bringing it. They're definitely bringing it. And you can see those guys are. Now, what did we talk about? We talked about that match a little bit, off to the side, before recording. Just a little bit of Booker's Alliance fantasy booking here. My thing was, hey, you just kind of ride those two Imperium tag team and New Day tag team. Just kind of have them ride their thing into, let's say WrestleMania time. And then maybe at WrestleMania time, what would happen if, say, Big E would come back and take the Intercontinental title off of Gunther. Yep. Yeah, I wanted to call him Walter there. It almost popped right out of my mouth and I had to catch myself. But yeah, tell me as y'all are listening to that right now, you didn't get a little shiver up your spine like, oh my God, how amazing would that be? I know y'all feel it.
All of us are sitting back going, Big E, man, if you're better, we can't wait to see you back. If you're still injured and maybe you never come back, brother, we're still behind you. We are big E fans.
It don't mean we ain't gonna stop writing for you here at the Booker's Alliance.
Absolutely.
We'll have, if you ever think about coming back, we'll have material ready for you.
We'll be ready for you. You'll be in our storylines.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's move on to our topic, the Hall of Fame, in or out. Of course, we are coming up on WrestleMania season, which means we are in Hall of Fame season.
My favorite time of the year.
Yeah, and it's always a great event. Thankfully they figured out how to shorten it down a little bit. You don't have the Mr. T or the Hillbilly Jim speeches.
Man, the Dudleys. I mean, they went forever. I think Bubba was actually auditioning for talk radio when he did his show. Because, I mean, he literally did a full segment up there. Like, he went and did a full segment. And then poor Devon, he had about 2 minutes because he was still working for the company. He had to kind of wrap it up.
All he said was, oh, my brother, testify.
That was pretty much all he got. He didn't get to sit all the shout outs that he intended to, but hey.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some potential candidates because candidates right now have not been announced for the 2024 Hall of Fame induction.
Not a one. So let's kick it off with, we talked about the WrestleMania chase. He seems to want to be a part of that chase, and he wants the head of the table seat, none other than, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Absolutely. All you loyal listeners already know I've been touting this one since he came back. This will give him that Ric Flair send-off, where he can come in, he can have his big retirement match, and Roman can literally spear him right into the Hall of Fame. You send him and I've been the biggest Rock fan for all of Rock's career, but what Rock can give to the business, he's not going to ever find a bigger match than he will against Roman Reigns now.
Have we ever had a current world champion inducted into the Hall of Fame?
No, definitely not a current world champion. Rey Mysterio is the only current wrestler to ever be inducted. Ric Flair kind of did because he retired the next night, but we've never had an active wrestler get inducted in the Hall of
Could
Fame.
The Rock get inducted and then win the belt the next night?
No, but he could definitely get inducted.
He said no.
No, absolutely not. But he could definitely get inducted. He will not win that title, but he could definitely get inducted on his Hall of Fame weekend. I mean, that's what they did for Rick. You remember Rick had his Hall of Fame ceremony. It was wonderful.
I just don't need Rock.
Pageantry was great.
I don't need Roman to tell The Rock I love you. That'd be kind of weird.
No, that wouldn't work. But he could ooh-ah him and then spear the hell out of him, and then Rock could do that thing where he grabs his ribs and rolls over and looks like up into the camera for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then he holds his hand up at the end while he's still holding his ribs. I mean, we know Rock knows that script. And he's already got his stunt double lined up and everything.
He's been there for that. So The Rock, a potential candidate. What a great candidate he would be. I would live to hear that speech. He is a great talker anyway, on and off the mic, just in and out of the ring, a great talker. So definitely a speech would be phenomenal by him.
Yep.
Our next one, though, has kind of pseudo already been announced, just never made it to the Hall of
he
Fame.
never had a ceremony.
Yeah, it's Batista.
Yep. But so I think Batista can't go in this year simply because if The Rock does, The Rock's a headliner. I don't see Batista playing second fiddle to anybody,
especially not another Hollywood actor.
No, he's going to headline his class. So, unfortunately for me, while Batista's definitely deserving, he was supposed to go in 20 before the pandemic shut that down.
Yep.
Definitely deserving of it, but not this year.
Yeah, and Batista, we miss you, man. I mean, I always enjoyed watching you in the ring. Definite great performer. Definite on-screen talent as far as movies. Guardians of the Galaxy.
By far, more than deserving.
Yeah, I mean, he should definitely be in their Hall of Fame. Hopefully, we get to that point and we get past the pandemic crap and, he gets that induction. The next one, controversial. Very controversial, the next one here.
Uh-oh.
It's a man that has been known in the past few months for controversy and a mustache.
Okay, well, then let's go then. Don't keep us in suspense. Who you got?
None other than Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Oh wow! So definitely deserving, 100% deserving. Never will go in.
No, he never will. No. He will go in
posthumously.
Whatever that's called.
Posthumously, yeah. He'll never. His speech would be amazing.
It would be
great.
Fantastic. Yeah,
but I don't think Vince would ever just let that happen. As deserving as he is, as earned as it would be, I just can't see him taking the front. Taking that front stage of. Everybody celebrate me. I just can't see him doing it, even though he would be deserved. But whenever Vince dies, damn it, he better not die before WrestleMania because they'll have to shift everything around to do it that year.
I could see Hunter, though. I mean, just out of respect, Hunter would probably put him in the next Hall of Fame after his death.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why I said I hope he doesn't go. If he goes in like February, oh, hell, all plans go out the window because he's going in that year. There ain't no other way around it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't let somebody that's meant and take the stories that you've heard and personal feelings aside. Take that out. Take that out of the equation.
Yeah, to hell with all that.
Yeah, take it out of the equation. What he's meant to the sport of professional wrestling, just on that merit alone, he has to go in.
Him as an individual is the only reason we're doing this. It's the only reason we watch wrestling damn near every night of the week.
Yep.
It's the only reason there's so much money being made. If it wasn't for Vince McMahon, this would still be regional.
Yeah.
And we'd still be watching our 5 or 6 top guys and a bunch of enhancement talents and wouldn't have no clue about all these other wonderful talents we see. Here where we're at in the Carolinas, we probably wouldn't even know who Roman Reigns is.
No, there would be no way. You would still be in NWA territory.
Yeah, The Rock would still be lifting weights and, at 50-some years old. Ric Flair would still be wrestling in a ring now.
All right, so the next one, again, an active wrestler. He hasn't announced retirement, and that's John Cena.
So same as Batista, right? Definitely deserving. Definitely, he will go first ballot Hall of Famer, as they say about the football guys. Absolutely. Can't play second fiddle to The Rock.
No, he can't play second fiddle to The Rock. Matter of fact,
he's his own class, like The Undertaker.
Matter of fact, that's what I was about to say. When Cena goes in, I see some type of a Hall of Fame induction ceremony like Taker had.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be
deservedly so.
Yeah, I mean, granted, and I've caught flack in the past about saying this, but I will say it because it's what I believe. He is the generational Hogan.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
I think everybody could, when you talk about Mount Rushmores and blah, 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 a lot of times people get into, well, this guy's my favorite, so I'm going to put him on that Mount Rushmore. No, John Cena transitioned the business.
He did.
He took it out of the Attitude Era while it was kind of flailing, and he ushered in his own era, and made it cool again. Wrestling had kind of fallen off in like 03, 04, 05. It was getting kind of funky around there, and Cena kind of grabbed it and said, you know what, I'm going to put this whole company on my back and carry it as far as I can. If I can't carry it far, I'll give it all I got. But he epitomized giving it all you got. So, yeah, definitely deserve it. Definitely can't go in on a class with The Rock or Batista for that matter.
Yeah.
Hell, or Vince McMahon. None of these guys could go in the same year. So we're consecutively booking the next 7 to 8 years.
We got the Hall of Fame up till 2035.
Yeah, hell yeah. Until they get it to Charlotte, damn it. When the Hall of Fame comes to Charlotte, we'll stop booking it. Until then, we're booking you out.
All right, so let's carry on to our next one here. The next one's a little bit of a different name. We've seen announcers go in the past. You've seen Gorilla Monsoon go in.
Yep.
You've seen JR go in.
Went in together.
The King, they all went in.
Yep.
I nominate Michael Cole.
Definitely deserve it, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to find... So there may be some people out there who just don't like Cole because he replaced JR. But, I think that sentiment left 10 years ago at this point now. Cole's definitely a guaranteed another first ballot Hall of Famer, right? Yeah. There's no other way around it. He's got to go in the first time he's eligible. I don't know what eligibility rules they have right now.
Who knows?
But with Triple H running the show now, I wouldn't put it past him to put him in this year. He's definitely deserving of it.
Yeah, and I will make this addendum. We've not talked about anybody that would be the inductor of the inductees.
No, that's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
Good God.
But I will say this about Michael Cole. If Pat McAfee is not the person who inducts Michael Cole, we riot.
That would be awesome. That would be great.
Pat has a way with words, and just him and Michael Cole, man, I miss them on the mic so much.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, I will say, Wade Barrett, he's holding his own.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about Wade Barrett.
No, he's good.
Yeah, he's all right, but, man, Michael and Pat.
Just Pat's energy. It wasn't like, Pat wasn't a connoisseur of words by any means, but just Pat's energy.
He amps up Michael Cole.
Yeah, just the energy. Right. He popped Michael Cole.
Yeah.
That never happens, right?
Yeah.
There were many times where Michael, you heard him hitting that mute button as he was busted up laughing because, Pat just popped him and he was like, oh my, to be able to take a guy, a standard professional like Cole out of your gimmick, that's some good work right there. That's classic.
All right, speaking of classic, we got a classic name to be put on the Hall of Fame list. Lex Luger.
So definitely deserve it to a point.
Ooh, I sense we're gonna go off into a diatribe.
Well, so
here. Ooh,
there's somebody that I think that deserves to get in way before Lex Luger, but there's no way these two could go in together, right? Who is that? They got to be kept as far apart as possible. And Miss Elizabeth. She's way more deserving to go into the WWE Hall of Fame than say Lex Luger is, right? But just because of their intertwined history and the way she departed the world, you can't put them in together. You don't even want those two names to be mentioned in the same breath at the Hall of Fame, just because it brings a dark cloud with it.
And not to be a Debbie Downer, trying not to bring people down, but if you don't know the story behind Lex and Miss Elizabeth, do you some research. It's an unfortunate event that happened. It's
an accident.
It was an accident.
Bad accident.
But I think from everything that we've heard out of Luger through the past few years, there's resentment there. There's, forgiveness that he's asked for because of it.
Not everybody's been willing to give it though. I mean,
no, but at the same time,
a long time. I mean, I was like, hey, you know, because I've been an Elizabeth fan since she was probably my first crush, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it happened, I remember just hearing the linkage of it, and I'm like, oh hell, it's his fault. He did this, and you know, then after you hear everybody's story, and then you actually look into it, you're like, okay, this wasn't anybody's fault. Wasn't her fault. It was just an accident that happened. You know, it was an accidental overdose. You know, call it what it was. Nobody intended for anything bad to happen that day. Now, they had some bad situations leading up into it, but I mean, hell, couples have bad situations, right? Yeah. That's just par for the course. Apparently, it wasn't that bad because she didn't leave or anything like that. It was just a bad situation and an accident that happened. But as far as Hall of Fame goes, you can't have them two going together. There's just no way.
That would be too much of a tainted memory.
Yeah, you just can't.
Yeah, that would be a very difficult.
Honestly, I believe that's why neither one of them have gone in now, just because they know that story's going to come up and kind of, you know, drudge up old, you know, bad memories.
So I will say that the China induction, when she finally went in, that was kind of hard to sit and see some of that story, especially her sister, you know, taking the induction for her and just listening to the stories. And then, my God, the biography that came out after
when you see the biography and then you really saw the you know, the behind the scenes work goings on, it's like, oh my God, you know, this is horrible. But I get why they didn't want to put her in, you know, when they didn't, but I also understood when they did. And this is the same thing. It's a delicate situation, so you got to handle it carefully, but it needs to be handled because both characters need to be in the Hall of Fame.
I honestly thought, and I know that we were talking about current and not past, but I honestly thought China should be in there twice, by herself and with DX.
I could see that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, she's not, but we digress.
Yeah.
All right, the next one on our list, Demolition.
A
tag team.
Yeah, Demolition definitely needs to be in there. I mean, they had lawsuits. They were out for blood against WWE. You know, they got old and they got bitter. It just kind of is what it is.
Yep.
So I know why they're not in there, but we're in a new regime now. You know, Triple H wasn't around when all that was happening, so he may not have those same hard feelings. So yeah, Demolitions definitely deserve it.
Yeah, and for those that don't remember Demolition, Axe and Smash.
Yep.
It just picture Road Warriors meets Kiss.
There you go.
That's the best way that I could think of.
With a BDSM gimmick going on there. Yeah. So I mean, you know, they had their own take on things, but yeah.
I will say the first time that I saw them on Saturday Morning Wrestling, the first time I ever saw them, I looked at my screen and I went, them dudes scary.
Yep. And by the time I'd seen them, I'd seen the Road Warriors before, but I didn't immediately correlate the two because I hadn't seen a lot of Road Warriors yet. Right. You know, they were still NWA, but I saw more in the AWA because that was a Midwest thing and I was in Chicago at the time. I probably got my first exposure to them there. So yeah, with the, you know, but when I looked at them, so the Road Warriors were buff. They were big. They were, you know, badass. They wore tights, spiked shoulder pads. Demolition, they weren't buff. They were just two big brawlers.
Big dudes.
Yeah, that, you know, the only thing they really had in common with the Road Warriors was the face paint.
Face paint and spikes. Yeah. They had the little spikes.
They had the little spike. But I mean, you see those spikes on motorcycle vests today.
Yeah.
So I didn't correlate the two. So yeah, Demolition definitely needs to get in there now. Hopefully this will be their year.
Yeah, I'd like to see them go in, definitely. The next name on our list, Owen Hart.
So
this one's a tough one.
Unfortunately, it's going to be a quick conversation because we know why he ain't in. The only reason he ain't in there is his wife won't allow it.
His wife won't allow it. And, you know, I ain't even going to go there because that's a family thing.
Yep.
And
her choice.
That's her choice. I totally get it. But Mark Henry said something a long time ago, and I stand by what Mark Henry said. It's time for him to join his brothers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I'm gonna leave it.
100%. Nobody would deny that. And I don't think you'll find one person that says he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, but everybody's got to accept the fact that he can't be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and you know, I will throw out a kudos to AEW for keeping his name out there, keeping the spirit of Owen Hart alive with the Owen Hart tournament that they do. You know, kudos to you guys. Owen Hart is definitely somebody that we should never forget, just for the sheer fact that man, if there was anybody that you ever saw come on your TV screen in professional wrestling that could take chicken shit and make it chicken salad, that was Owen Hart.
Yeah, because they definitely gave him the shits in the beginning. I mean, he just had to wrestle through it, but because he was such a sound wrestler, he could, he took the parachute pants with Coco Beware. Damn it, he took the second king gimmick. He was a double Emmy winner. He was a nugget.
So I don't know if you'll like this comparison or not, but Owen was kind of R-Truth before R-Truth.
Yeah. I mean, you could put him, he was a plug and play.
Yeah.
You put him in any situation and he can make something out of it. And fans liked it. Now, what Truth is doing right now, hell, Truth almost should get in the Hall of Fame with what he's doing right now. Way off the subject now, but Jesus, that man is funny.
All I'm going to say is, R-Truth, we love you, brother. We love what you are doing, dude.
Dude, if we run into him in Charlotte, he's definitely getting a beer on me because, damn, he takes a dead segment and makes it hilarious for no apparent reason other than he's just goofy.
And they're having so much fun with it between what he's doing on screen, the T-shirts, the graphics. Don't know if you caught when the Judgment Day came to the ring last night. He's actually in the Judgment Day graphic now.
I didn't see that. I didn't look at that.
It's his little pictures up there to the corner that says live, laugh, love. I mean,
good Lord. Oh, man.
Phenomenal stuff. All right, moving on. Psycho Sid.
Oh, big Sid. I mean, Sid, multi-time world champion, broke his leg on WCW TV. Maybe that's why he ain't in yet, because they know that clip will come back up and just kind of gross everybody out.
Maybe that was the ugliest wrestling injury I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was gross. That looked like some football stuff there. That was gross.
So Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious. What else was he named? He was
Sid Justice.
Sid Justice.
Can't forget Sid. Sometimes he was just Sid.
What title did he hold the belt under? Was it Justice? Sid Justice?
That was Psycho Sid.
Psycho Sid.
Yeah, so he was Justice when he came in the original with Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 8 time.
Yep.
Then he left. Then when he came back, he was just kind of Psycho Sid.
Yep.
Then him and Shawn Michaels got entangled in there, and that's when he won these couple titles.
He running around with Bobby Heenan, wasn't he?
No, he had Harvey Whippleman.
Harvey Whippleman. Yeah. That was it. I knew it was some kind of slimy little man.
Dude, you're right. History.
I'm not the historian.
I got the history. Yeah, I got that. But yeah, he I don't know why. Sid was a decent talker. I mean, obviously that one clip going around with him and JR in the back of WCW where he told him, "Hey JR, let's restart it." JR told him, "Nah, hell, buddy, we're live." And Sid just kind of stood there and looked dumb, and they wandered off. That ain't doing him no favors. No. But I mean, if you look past that, Sid should be in the Hall of Fame.
All right, let's turn our attention to some ladies that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of the conversation. Let's talk.
And one that we've said for many years now between our discussions between each other is Victoria.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no reason why she should not be in
everybody else who wrestled in her era is in. I mean, Ivory's in, Jacqueline's in, Molly Holly's in, Trish and Lita. Victoria's the only one standout, and I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know if she said something, or maybe they offered and she just declined.
Could be.
That would be the type Victoria would be.
Could be, but
she is one of those type people that kind of marches to the beat of her own drum.
Definitely, but at some point in time, I mean, it's an honor to be in, to even be asked. So it's not really the right thing to say no, unless you just got some kind of hatred to the company. And I mean, I follow her on social. She doesn't say anything bad about the company, so it isn't like there's an outstanding beef on her side.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if, maybe they just overlook her or what, but hardly nobody from her class that was a top tier wrestler isn't already in. So maybe it just wasn't her time because they were already inducting the other women. Maybe they were just kind of going down the line, but she's definitely one that should go in this year.
If there was anybody that embodied the power of a women's wrestler in the Diva era, Victoria was definitely that person.
Absolutely. Speaking of body, though, because you said embody.
Well, no, good segue.
Oh, okay. Because speaking of body, I know who I want to talk about. So let's go that way. Come on with it.
Oh, you got to be careful now because this lady has a powerful presence that is around her. All the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got to be delicate.
There's a story about that. I'll tell you that I've heard it from different podcasts, so I know it's true. But there's a story that goes with this person, but I'll let you lead in first.
All right, so obviously we are talking about Sable.
Absolutely.
So Sable,
that body needs to be in the Hall of Fame today.
Sable was probably one of the most just
attractive, gorgeous, sexy, hot. What word do you want to use?
She caught the wrestling world by storm and didn't even have to wrestle in a ring.
She didn't have to do shit. All she had to do was be there, and I was all for it. I'm like, who the hell is that? Now give me more of it.
As a young man watching the sport of wrestling, there was two ladies that automatically drew your attention. That was Sunny and that was Sable.
Yep.
I mean, it was just
it definitely drew my attention. I mean, we're towing a fine line right here, buddy. Because I was 18 when them girls
be careful. You don't want to take no F5s.
When them young women came around to the wrestling world, I was 18 years old. So let me tell you, my goodness, and all my juices were flowing back then. I'm the hell. But
so Sable alone, as far as when we talked about Cena, Batista, The Rock crossing over outside of the pro wrestling world into the pop culture phenomenon, Sable crossed over. She didn't cross over in a normal way, though. She went the Playboy route.
Yeah, but she crossed over in a big way because, I mean, she made herself an instant celebrity.
Outside of Pamela Anderson, one of the best-selling Playboy magazines ever.
By far. I mean, and that was just the wrestling audience. Nobody else knew who she was. They had no clue.
Yeah, I mean, but by the time it was all said and done, you kind of knew what was happening with her. Now, you alluded to a story. So what is the story about Sable?
This story is, like I said, I've heard it from a lot of different outlets, but apparently it came directly from Mark Merrill's mouth. He told the story, so got to take it as truth, right?
Yep.
But Mark said, him and Sable, they were married when she first came in. Well, they were on the outs, they were kind of breaking up, going through that. And Mark had caught wind that she was seeing somebody in the locker room. And Mark said, oh, hell, this is one of my brothers. This is one of the boys. When I find out who it is, I'm going to kick their ass. I'm going to kick their ass up and down the street. I'm a former welterweight boxer. I'm going to kill him. Who is it? They said they told him, well, apparently it's Brock Lesnar. And they said Mark told him, well, I wish her well. They said he didn't skip a beat. As soon as he heard that, they said Mark took a minute and, paused and let everything roll through that brain and said, I wish her well. I guess this marriage is over. Let's go sign the papers, because he wasn't going to fight that big old hoss.
Again, to bring out the name Pat McAfee twice in the same episode here, Pat calls Brock Lesnar, he is the alpha male of our species.
Yeah.
And if aliens ever
invade,
he is the one that we are sending to defend us.
Yeah, we send him first. Absolutely. Hell, line up the troops behind him. But hell, if it comes down to a hand-to-hand, send that guy. Let him figure it out. Hell, we trust it.
And so, Brock and Sable have gone on, in their marriage. They're still married today.
Damn near 20 years.
Yep.
Wow, my goodness.
Had some beautiful children. And this one child has gone on and broken, was it Colorado State or Colorado
Something
University?
like that.
She broke the shot put record.
Yeah. So I mean, she took all the genes from Brock on that one, because hell.
Yeah. So, I mean, that Sable should definitely be in there, though, just because everybody knows who Sable is. I mean, if you bring that name up today, the first thing they're going to think of is Playboy.
Yep.
I mean,
people who haven't watched wrestling in the last 20 years since she left still remember her.
Yep.
So.
All right. Coming down to the last one on our list here, and we wanted to give this one a little bit of time because this one's going to hit home a little bit. This one hit a little hard because, unfortunately, we recently lost this guy, and we're talking about Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. We did a whole show on Wyndham right after he passed, and what he meant to us as wrestling fans, what he meant to the wrestling community, what he meant to the sport of professional wrestling. Wyndham was a character unlike any other, and I dare say there may not be another one like him again.
No, it's going to be a long time before we see another guy with the kind of creativity that he brought to the business. A lot of guys, today they look at it as a business. Some of them look at it as a job, but kind of few and far between where you see a guy that looks at it with the kind of passion that he does. Now, not to say they don't bring passion to the ring.
Right.
They bring, a lot, but the majority of guys bring passion to their matches. You can see that they're fully invested in it. But I mean, this man lived his character.
Yeah.
If anything gets you in the Hall of Fame, it's saying that, you gave it all to wrestling. And I mean, he legitimately gave it all to wrestling.
Yep, and outside of the Hall of Fame conversation here, the WWE is doing right by his family. As far as I know, they still have him on a Legends contract.
Yep.
They are still paying that money to his family for
and all
his
the
kids
proceeds
and
of
all
any
the proceeds of merchandise.
Yep.
Hell, they've even got Bo Dallas still on contract.
Yep.
So, kudos to WWE for stepping up and taking care of business where it needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
As far as, though, Bray Wyatt, why should he be in the Hall of Fame, though? Just for the sheer fact that this man wasn't afraid to try anything new. He would actively go out there and seek different ways to present something to us fans, something we've never seen before. Give us a show.
Yep.
John Cena has gone on record in saying that one of his favorite matches he was ever involved in was the Firehouse Fun, the Funhouse match that they did at Mania. One of the craziest matches I've ever seen.
Yep. One of the first cinematic matches we ever saw.
Right, because it was in the pandemic era, so nobody knew how it was going to happen. But some of the stuff that was told in that match, the stories, there was some truths being told.
I mean, they covered a lot of ground in that one story. At one point, they had Cena as a heel in an NWO shirt.
Yep.
Basically, going back to what we just talked about Cena being the Hogan of the era, Bray Wyatt and Cena basically called it out right here and said, hell yeah, I'm the Hogan of this era, and I'll show you dead to your face. But, I mean, just think about the names that we listed. Bray's wrestled in WrestleMania against John Cena, The Undertaker.
Yep.
I mean, he's been in there with The Rock.
Randy Orton.
Yeah, he's been in WrestleMania matches with all of your top-level talent throughout his whole run as Bray Wyatt / The Fiend.
Yep.
If that doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame, what does? I mean, that's 4 consecutive WrestleManias he co-main evented. I mean, we didn't call them co-main events before the whole 2 nights thing and all that. But let's be honest, if you're in the ring standing across from The Rock, The Undertaker, and John Cena, opening Randy Orton for the title, you're main eventing WrestleMania. You're co-main eventing. So 4 in a row, essentially, that gets you a spot. Yeah. That definitely earns you a spot.
And I just say this as a personal item, I will forever follow the Buzzards.
There you go.
That dude, I mean, me and you have talked at length about some of the stuff that he did as he was coming back to the WWE.
Yep.
The whole White Rabbit stuff,
yep.
the QR codes, that whole lead up was amazing. Some fantastic thought went into that. And again, bringing stuff to us wrestling fans that we've never had the chance to experience before.
Yep. And that was kind of the turn, where WWE had kind of stagnated for a while. It was things like that took them to that next level where you had to start taking notice again. It was turning into much-watched TV again.
Yep.
But, yeah, as far as the Hall of Fame goes, to coin a phrase, let him in.
Let him in. I like that. So that's kind of just some people on our list of who we think could potentially frontline or just be in the class of 2024 Hall of Fame. Who do you think made the cut? Who do you think will be announced? Who do you think deserves a spot that hasn't got in there yet? And maybe one day, Frank, they'll actually make this thing a physical Hall of Fame. God, we get to go to it.
The day they do, we're broadcasting live from the parking lot of it. We'll be recording it. They might kick us out 3 or 4 times while we're recording in there, but damn it, they just go have to come kicking because we'll be in there live recording. At this stage, it don't matter where it is or how old we are.
I don't care if it's in California.
I'll make that trip.
I don't care if it's in New York. It don't matter. We're going to be there.
Hopefully they don't put it in Jeddah, though. Remember they were talking about opening that.
the WWE experience?
Yeah, they were doing that. Yeah. Hopefully they don't call that the Hall of Fame because, damn, I mean, I would eventually have to go, but Lord, don't make it impossible for me.
Yeah, that might have to be a worldwide trip when I retire.
Yeah, no kidding, right? And, so hell, make it possible for us to go sooner before or later. But if it goes there, then damn it, I'd have to make my way over there. I'd dust the old passport off and make my way over there, I guess.
All right, so that was our episode today. We appreciate you listening. Thank you for everything you guys do. Reach out on our social media platforms. Drop us a line. Tell us what your thoughts are on this. And with that, as always, we bid you adieu.
Peace.
Today's podcast was produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.